staff works hard to save you up to 40% on your food bill every day at your Clinton Save-A-Lot. And as Dave always says, hope to see you soon.
Make this school year their strongest yet. Book your child's back to school or sports physical today at SIU Center for Family Medicine in Lincoln. Keep them healthy, focused, and ready for success. Find out more by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Hi, I'm Brett with Central Cremation Center. We're proudly offering pet cremation services to help keep your faithful companion close to you. Learn more about our pet services by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
News time is 8 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Monday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 8 o'clock newscast. It's easy to tell when you drive past Clinton High School. A lot of work has been done to the athletic facilities, but they have also been doing work inside. Jerry Wayne, principal of Clinton High School, explains while they've done a lot of things to the athletic facilities that are visible to the public, he feels it's important for the community to see the work that has been done inside, like improvements recently to its auditorium.
Yeah, I think that's really important that our community understands that though the really visible stuff is the outside, there's some inside stuff that's going on as well. And there are plans for additional inside stuff that's going to be going on as well. But I think one of the things that we started last year that didn't get quite as much publicity, I guess, was we did do some stuff in the auditorium last summer while we were doing the big changing of our electrical stuff that was going on. We also had during the school year had some stuff dealing with some lighting that was taken care of, and that has been a really nice addition. Makes the abilities for our programs and things that we put on to be able to program the lighting that we want and when the timing and all that wants to come in. So kind of a state-of-the-art lighting for our plays and things like that. They're going to go on. But then that second phase was we needed to upgrade our audio system in there as well. And so that's currently under progress. The plan is hopefully to have that done. I think they're planning on before the school year starting, but just like anything else, there's never any guarantees of exactly. But it certainly should be done enough by the time that we get to our fall play, which typically happens sometime around November.
The upgrades to the athletic facilities are noticeable at the high school, including flipping the bleachers. Wayne is very proud of how the project came out and feels the experience for players and fans will be great.
Well, I think everybody that has been around has seen the external ones. They know that the football field got finished up, and we finally got the home stands is fully finished. You know, the press box is fully done. We're really proud of the work that's been put in, and I'm going to give a shout out to Matt. Matt was an integral part of everything that happened in that because he is excited about Clinton. He's so excited about our community, our school, wants to make sure that we show pride and are proud of everything that does go on. And so he puts a great deal of work into the details that are necessary to be able to make that happen. And then to see the baseball fields then to be extended on baseball and softball, thanks to the generosity of the community, the city saying, hey, we've got this opportunity. It needs to be used. We utilize this as a community. Are there things we can do to help? It has been absolutely incredible to see all of that. It isn't without its hiccups. We actually just had a hiccup just recently. With a scoreboard that is getting installed right now. Unfortunately, when they sent it, they made an error when they sent us, and they digital side for the clock, the score that's going on, they sent in it's red instead of maroon. And I want to make sure the community knows that is not what it will be. But unfortunately, just like everything, sometimes things mess up, and the company just sent us one that was the wrong color. We have to put it up for now. We're in the process of getting that taken care of and switch back to it's either going to be maroon or it's going to end up being black. Just really excited about all of the things that are going on. I think that the fans are going to be excited.
Wayne notes the athletic facilities were a dream he thought would not happen until after he retired, but credits the success of the efforts of Matt Keppel, who worked very hard to get those done.
So when Matt came here 7 years ago, he's always talked about turf, and that had been on our minds and our thought process before he got here, but he really started kind of pushing that. And Matt, he and I talked several times, and he was like, yeah, I want to get it. And I said, I don't think you're going to see turf here before I retire. And I was looking at I was looking at 9 years is when I retired. I said, I just don't know. I don't know whether we'll be able to make that happen. He goes, I understand, but I'm going to keep doing it. And that's kind of that's what his job is to continue to ask questions and see. And if decision is yes, then yes. And if the answer is no, then the answer is no. But he's always thinking about that. And so we started that process. Board members started talking about it. We started looking at the finances and saying, okay, we actually do have money that we can potentially make this happen in phases. And so we just did that. And so that's where the football stadium started and how that kind of got processed. And then a year ago, well, it was what even full year ago, was partway through the year last year, the city came to us and said, okay, here's what we've got. This is what's kind of going on. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to get into the details, but they said, what do you think? Do you want to look at partnering? And of course, in the end, all that turf for the baseball and the softball and everything else, it benefits everybody, because what it does is it opens up an opportunity for our community to be able to utilize it without having to worry about having somebody that can come out and drag the fields.
School starts for Clinton High School Wednesday, August 20th for freshmen and new students, while the rest of the student body goes back Thursday, August 20th, and fans will be able to experience the new football field bleachers when the season kicks off August 29th against Central A&M. It was over 10 years ago, Stensel Pond in Farmer City, located at the Raceway, experienced an extreme flood, causing the city to enter into a lease agreement to offset water costs. City manager Taylor Baxter says the move gave the public access to Stensel Pond with the expectation the city will maintain it and Stensel Pond provide liability insurance.
Another lease agreement with the fairgrounds and the racetrack for the use of Stensel Ponds. So about 10 years ago, there was a pretty big water leak that happened out there. And the city manager at the time, the city council and mayor, and then the Raceway, they entered into a lease agreement to kind of offset that water bill. So this gave the public access to be able to use Stensel Ponds. And the agreement was the city would maintain it. They would provide the liability insurance, and that 10 years has since passed. So the discussion came about, okay, what do we want to do now? Do we just want to give it back to the Raceway and let them take care of the maintenance? And from what it sounds like, the liability insurance would be pretty difficult for them to get for that. So they'd have to close the gate because there is open bodies of water, which it's pretty expensive to carry that liability insurance for them. So, or is this something where we feel like as a city council that, this is a good thing for our community, it's a community asset. We want to continue maintaining it, continue providing the liability insurance. And that's where the council is at. Now, there needs to be some final details as far as, what that looks like. But they did agree that, let's continue those conversations and potentially continue to lease the Stensel Ponds out. So it wasn't a vote of, yes, we're going to do it. No, we're going to do it. Let's continue that conversation and bring an agreement forward for the council to move for next time.
And the council decided to take more time to discuss and review the possibility of renewing the lease agreement. Recently, the city of Lincoln purchased the former State Bank of Lincoln building just off the square to house a new Route 66 exhibit. Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch says another piece of that building, though, will be occupied by what he calls an economic incubator to help people start or move their small businesses to Lincoln. He's got the idea during a trip to Pontiac.
Yeah, I'll tell you where the idea came from. I took a tour as part of my tourism work that we've been doing. Mm-hmm. I took a tour of Pontiac, Illinois, and I really went up there to see their Route 66 program and how successful it was. But while I was there visiting, one of their adjacent parking lots near their municipal building down there, they had these things and the shacks sitting in the parking lot. I refer to them as like she shacks because they're really nice pastel colors. They're done really well. It's something that you might see in that respect. And they actually use those buildings to let people that want to start a business up kind of get their feet wet without a lot of overhead and expense. And so they can rent those shacks for a period of time and kind of, test the waters with their business.
The mayor notes they've been doing well without a chamber of commerce for some time. However, feels having an economic development resource would be a great benefit to the city of Lincoln. News time is 16 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Monday morning, Coming up in sports, we take a look at the Mount Zion program coming off a state runner-up finish in the 4A playoffs last year. The Braves poised to return to the playoffs. That story next in sports.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet Service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
School is right around the corner. Let us help you get to class in style at Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. This is Scott Baum. We have a great savings on the entire Chevy lineup, from the economic Trailblazer and Trax to the upscale Silverado or Tahoe. We have you covered. Our used and certified pre-owned cars are getting straight A's also. This school year, see all our inventory online. Chevrolet, together let's drive. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
CEO Paul Skowron here from Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. Call our family medicine clinic now to get your children's school physicals scheduled. We're accepting new patients of all ages. More info by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. Often, a trip to a state championship is built on having a strong senior class with a lot of experience. While Mount Zion certainly had a strong core of seniors, they graduated just 9 from last year's Class 4A state runner-up team. Coach Patrick Etherton recognizes there were some tremendously talented seniors in those 9, but he also likes what he has coming back this season.
You know, I like the fact that, we got quite a few kids coming back that are starters. We only had 9 seniors last year. So the thing is, we got some experience coming back. We got to fill some spots. Braden Trimble, a huge spot. He's over at Illinois doing well. He's graduated all 3 linebackers. Those are kind of the big areas right now. But, what we really like about our kids is last year they played a lot. They went through some adversity. They faced it, and they dealt with it. And really, you look at our season last year, we were 3-3, and then our kids got things turned around. Well, that's hard to do. And so, these kids have done it. So now it's start with some momentum. We got a tough schedule this year, so it should be fun. Jacob Harvey will play both ways. He actually was our leading receiver last year. He had more yards than Braden. So he'll excel. We got a long snapper. He's really talented, Josh Howell. People don't pay attention to the long snapper unless they, aren't very good and they don't snap very well. Our kid's phenomenal. So we're excited about him. We've got, Ricky Jones started every game last year, wide receiver for us. Up front, Luke Miller started at center. Nick Shear started at one of the guards and played some tackle. Broden Reynolds started a lot of games up front offensively for us, guard and tackle. So we got those kids back. We got a senior kicker back who's we think is very, very good. And then obviously our quarterback's back who's a 3-year starter. So we're excited about those. And those are, just really our senior kids that I talked about there. Should be a lot of fun. Should be fun to watch the kids run around. Braden Trimble started every game his high school career. He was hurt, missed a couple. But other than that, he started from his freshman, game 1. J.C. Anderson and Jacob Harvey have started for 4 years. Those 3 kids, obviously Braden's at Illinois, but the other 2 will be 4-year starters. And that's, really hard to do. We've got some really talented freshmen in our program this year, but none of them are what we think are ready, whereas, those guys were. And, I think the amount of high school varsity games JC and Jacob have played really should help us out and help our team out. And they're 2 of our 4 captains, so we're excited about that.
According to Coach Etherton, the Braves did not participate in any team versus team practices or scrimmages, but did do plenty in the way of 7-on-7 and attributes all the experience he has to having a very productive and successful summer.
Yeah, we had a great summer. We have a really good group of kids coming back, and, a lot of kids who played last year and had some experience. In our summer, we do some 7-on-7s. We did not do any team workouts with any other teams as far as like what we can do scrimmage-wise with the 11-on-11. So we went a little different aspect on that. I think it's probably different than other schools, but we went to Illinois for 7-on-7. We went up to Sterling for 7-on-7. Went to Chatham-Glenwood for 7-on-7. We hosted Warrensburg here for 7-on-7. So, we got a lot of different looks. We got to see a lot of different teams. Ultimately for us, it's, watch our kids develop, watch them grow, see what they can do. And then, at this point now we've got a lot of kids, so we're competing at a lot of positions for playing time. Our ultimate goal in the summer is to put kids in different positions, offer them opportunities and competitions to see where they fit. I think we got, obviously we got J.C. Anderson going to Ole Miss. Jacob Harvey is an extremely talented kid that, I'm surprised a little bit he has not had a scholarship offer yet. He's talked to a lot of schools and has had a really good summer as far as combine testing and all that. Keller Stocks, our quarterback, will be a 3-year starter. Had a great year last year. And we got 4 or 5 offensive linemen back. So, we're in a good spot, which really helped out the summer and how things went. But, now it's the fall, and we got 1 week here, and then another week we'll have a scrimmage against Williamsville High School. Then we're into the season, so it goes fast.
The Braves this year are very athletic, and Coach Etherton hopes it is if his team can stay healthy and do the little things well, they start strong and to continue to get better as the season goes on, something they only did part of last year and still played in the state championship game Thanksgiving weekend.
I think as a whole, we're really athletic. I think if you look at, not even just our starters, but our backups, and I think we should, our goal is, be really good at all 3 phases. And I think our special teams is something we've taken pride in over the years. Dan Butler, coaches our special team, has done a great job with that. But I think that's an area where we, our depth of athleticism should really help out. The big thing we found out last year was that we were playing our best football at the end of the season. And when we got into the playoffs, we were playing really good football. And we didn't play great football at the beginning of the year, but we got better as it went on, which is what you're supposed to do. So, I think this year is a little more emphasis on our kids starting out and playing good football and then continuing to get better. So, if that happens, then, hopefully we'll be talking in October.
Mount Zion starts its season with 4 straight home games and 5 of its first 6 at home this year. They start the season taking on Limestone, Rochester, and Breeze Central. In a game heard on WHOW, Jonathan India and Adam Frazier hit 2-run home runs, rallying the Kansas City Royals to a 6-2 win over the White Sox on Sunday for a 4-game series sweep. The White Sox actually led 2-0 before India tied it in the 7th with a 451-foot homer.
Sunday did not go according to plan in Kansas City for the White Sox as they dropped their 14th straight game at Kauffman Stadium and will remain winless on the season in KC. All the more painful was the fact that Davis Martin actually carried a no-hitter and a 2-0 lead into the 6th.
1-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. Royals had not reached base through 3 innings against Davis Martin. Swing and a miss on a cutter. Royals without a hit through 5.
A beautiful outing by Martin, 6 shutout innings with only 1 hit allowed, undone by an ineffective bullpen. The Sox lost 6-2 and have now dropped 4 straight as they try to get right in Atlanta on Monday night. I'm Jeff Meller, and I'll have your pregame coverage starting at 5:30 on the ESPN 1000 Hard Rock Casino White Sox Network.
And hear the Sox tonight right here on WHOW. Dansby Swanson hit a tie-breaking sac fly in the 8th inning, and the Cubs beat the Pirates 4-3 Sunday in the rubber match of the weekend series. Pete Crow Armstrong and Ian Happ had 2 hits apiece for Chicago, who had dropped 4 of 5 before a 3-1 win Saturday. Next up is a big 5-game series against the big league leading Brewers, beginning with a split doubleheader today at Wrigley Field. The Cubs are 8 games back of Milwaukee in the NL Central. Cody Bellinger drove in 3. Former Cardinal Paul Goldschmidt had 3 hits as the Yankees beat the Cardinals 8-4 Sunday for a series sweep. Second baseman Thomas Agaze made 2 errors in a Yankees 4-run 9th inning He threw wildly to first. Leadoff batter Jose Caballero took second and then third on a pass ball. Walks to pitch hitter Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge loaded the bases. Segazy let Bellinger's grounder get by him for 2 runs. Judge then scored on a fielder's choice. Goldschmidt, who played for St. Louis from 2019 to 2024, hit his second double for the final run. Luke Weaver pitched the final inning and a third. Jojo Romero earned the loss. St. Louis was swept for the first time this season. They were last swept by the Yankees in April 2017 in New York. Cardinals left-hander Matthew Liberatore was scheduled to start against Marlins starter Yuri Perez in Miami tonight. Get sports anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
The start of school is upon us, and your